Papa.
I spelled
This.
No. Like social studies.
Yeah,
And I might have my.
good.
Fit
Anywhere?
That's a Leo.
Hi.
Yes.
This is Spike. Like
Math.
algebra teacher.
I subbed here a couple times. Sorry.
Okay.
I think Mr. Edwards is going to be in here in a minute. I think Mr.
Okay.
Edwards is going to be in here in a minute.
You know, you can use my notes. If I can't find your, we had the same thing. You can read my writing. Just don't use this number. That's the principal that,
The one that had sent the rating scale.
Hey,
Mr. Edwards.
here they are.
I saw your notes. I'm thinking that some of them might be a one.
Yeah. All right, if you can read my thing.
I'll sit on this other end down here as long as I don't have to say great. That's great.
I don't know.
Guess I can go ahead and get this started. Are we ready? We've got to go ahead. Oh, wait, Ms. Perkins. Ms. Perkins isn't it? Is she? She is coming. Okay. She'll be back. Okay. Now, we had a meeting in September, and my understanding that we are going to make some corrections to the IEP. So I went ahead and changed the date, basically did the IEP, so that we could go through and write changes that need to be made, and then we'll go ahead and make the changes on the computer. So we're doing a new IEP, but it's got everything from the last IEP on it, and then we'll cross out and change and add whatever. Okay? Are we okay with that? It's really the same IEP that we had before. We'll have to share. I just made a few copies, pass them around. I can share that one.
Another copy.
I'm trying to find.
And I've got the September one here.
In my car. Anyway, sorry about that. That's all right. I think that's in the car. And that's right here. I got hope.
I just got one in so I could hear.
Oh, okay. That's good.
And
I might have lost it in the car, but I'm not.
Okay. Good.
Page 9.
Let's see. Okay.
Look, I'll just.
Now the first one, the
Right.
transition.
They're not going to change too. What basically was just if you don't, trying to. We usually get timely. I understand, but what basic changes were made? If you don't mind.
No changes were made. I said we
None
basically
yet?
took the
Okay.
IEP and copied everything, except maybe parent notification.
Okay. Page 9.
Oh wait, we need to change. Where's Ms. Perkins? We need to put in because we've got. We need to change parent notification. The date. So,
And I also just received
This
something
was-
in the mail
Yeah. That's,
on,
all right. Stop.
yeah, that was changing it to today,
Okay.
I think.
Page 9. And then the only city elected. Okay. All right. What page was the elective on? Oh, no. What page was the elective on? Was that 3?
Oh, okay. So skipping back.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find some specific information.
Okay, it's on page 9.
All right, the meeting date on some of these was 12, oh, that's today.
Oh, wait,
I got
still
you.
going back to that September one.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, what is that? Page 9.
Yeah, when,
Had the classes.
Blake went out.
Probably, yeah.
Is that September's? Okay.
I have September
May I
here.
please see
Yeah.
copies? Thank you.
You said we're going straight to the minutes?
Well, they just asked to go to
All right,
what page something was on.
okay.
So I
wanna
just
know
suggest we
where
look over each page and see.
Yes, ma'am. I want
what
to see
we-
where the, let's see, page 9
Yeah, page 9.
was the elective, correct?
Page 9
Yes,
has
has
the regular
classes,
classes.
has all the classes listed.
And page
Okay.
10
Okay.
in the minutes.
All right, turn to page 9 on that one, on the draft, which is
Okay.
the 12/3 date. Okay, yeah, I found it.
Okay.
Here, I got it. Okay. No.
Oh,
No.
no, something's been changed? Okay.
No, you don't want, she didn't want, keep robotics. I'm
What?
sorry, keep robotics.
Oh, I am.
But what does this mean?
This is the draft,
What are you
okay,
pointing
that's
to
it.
this for then? 'Cause this is
All
what
right,
he's
this
saying.
is the 17th. This is 9/17. ROTC robotics intern included.
Right.
Okay, so robotics isn't in there, on the one that was just,
Okay,
Put
so
up.
you did alter it.
Well, no,
Well-
no, it's not alternate.
No, it was
This is
changed.
9, right, let me explain.
Okay.
This is 9/17. This
Okay.
is today's, it's called a draft IEP
Okay.
to prepare. So, nothing is official until this is signed. This
Okay.
is the current IEP.
This is not.
If you don't sign this one, this
Okay.
stays in effect until. But
Yeah.
that was something that you wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She didn't
it
want.
doesn't have the agri-science or the robotics on
Okay.
it.
Yeah, I'm keeping
That-
robotics. I'm not changing it.
But robotics is not a course.
I'm not changing it.
Robotics is a course
It's a
Okay.
teacher recommended
by
also.
teacher recommendation.
Mhm.
Okay.
And
Um,
I've got several of them, especially
Okay.
the,
Well, let's
Anything
go
more?
ahead. Let me
But-
ask one other thing. Where is the behavior, is there a draft behavior plan that should have been done?
I'm Christine, I saw your picture
Hey.
on Facebook.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Do you run?
Cammie, you know Cammie?
Thomas.
Yes.
Okay.
My sister.
Get out. Tammy, people
Tammy.
know your sister? Okay. Love her.
Yeah.
She's a good worker. Well, I'm Christine Broussard. I'm the school psychologist.
It's nice to meet you.
Thank
Hi,
you.
I'm sorry. I'm Margaret Burns.
Margaret Burns. Are you the child advocate?
Yeah, Bob taught for a long time.
Okay.
But I'm going back January, yes.
Well, I did come to the school and I did start a rough draft of a behavior plan after I gathered some data on what we call an FBA, functional
Yes.
behavior assessment. I'm not sure, were you given a copy? Was anything sent home for you to fill
Yes.
out?
There hasn't been, unless any of you can provide to me any
I think I bought another one just in case.
behavior plans or positive reinforcements or anything that you can show that you have done that. Do
I
any
think
of
what
y'all
she
have
said,
that?
yeah, I think, was this behavior plan to address the issues that led to the reason he was suspended?
Was he suspended for fighting?
Correct. He was suspended way back in September from a class that he, first of all, was illegally placed in, and it was. I mean,
Which class?
I'm just being blunt. Agri-science, which is not part of the IEP.
Okay.
Okay, that's,
And was it
And it's not a big
exactly
deal.
the beginning of the year? Like y'all knew he was going to it, but y'all didn't agree
No,
with it?
he wasn't supposed to be in there at all.
Okay.
they don't know the history then.
I know. We gotta just catch everybody
Did
up.
bring
Everybody's
Karen.
new, except for him and her. And her.
Here,
Y'all have to
No,
forgive me,
no.
I'm really not supposed to be here, I just had
Okay.
emergency
Look.
surgery on my mouth and there's a bone graft, so.
okay.
Oh.
Let me explain. She
I'm supposed to have
presented,
a doctor's excuse to hold up to y'all, telling y'all
Okay.
to send me home, but I said,
Alright.
I can't do
Alright.
this. So forgive
Look,
me
let me,
if I,
if y'all don't mind, I'm just gonna summarize what I feel I've
Easier for
seen.
her to talk.
And, we're friends from the neighborhood, and I really didn't know her prior, this involved, till August. And I've taught a lot in this parish. But here's my point. He was in Hope Academy last year. We can go back, but for this year, when she registered him, I mean, she was in contact with people, appraisal all summer. Ramona helped her get paperwork together.
And his speech.
Every single
I
IEP
told her,
and
Anna came
1508 and evaluation with Blake was, yes, Asperger's, which we have the medical diagnosis. Asperger's, regular ed, with modifications. Somehow, he was placed into a community-based class without an IEP, without her consent or knowledge. She tried to work through it. There's a lot of, for time, things that he has gone through. I can't believe he's gone through, and she was looking forward to a good year, and I know it's good, new people. Okay, we put him back after hours and long meetings, and he was placed back in regular ed with a very specific IEP, drawn up not by what she wanted, but by a team of people, good people. Again, the next day.
Other than one
Well,
other
this is
thing I
9/17.
didn't really realize it was in there.
But anyway, and on 9/17, again, the child was taken out of robotics, and for what the reasons, the grade or this and that, but without an IEP, without consent, without a phone call, put into this other class. A fight or something ensued. He gets suspended. There was no follow-up IEP to address the behaviors or a behavior plan. Then there was this and this and this, and then he's hospitalized, and now we're here. And, I mean, that's the background. But I cannot understand, especially at this school, and I have been in this community as a parent for years. From Shenandoah up to now. And yeah, I'm bringing my kids back up here. And I've subbed here, and I've taught here, and I've taught Scotlandville Middle, I've taught St. County. I do not understand why this child was placed in community-based class and has lost out all of this time. Okay, we get a behavior plan. We find out how he's doing in his classes. I know he's flunking. The child is shutting down. We've had meetings. We're in another meeting. And I'm just speaking from my heart. I know both sides. And I don't like what I'm seeing. And I know the quality that each of you are. I know that. And this brilliant child, who I'm fluent in German, okay? He reads a book in German. Do.
Please don't do that.
We got this. Okay, I'm fluent in German. He reads a book. He comes up and he starts talking to me in German, and I'm answering him, and he understands.
I said I kind of know a bit of German.
Yeah, a little bit of a lot of things. But he's losing.
You're just doing that to annoy me.
I love you, Blake. But my mom, what I'm saying is, this child, this genius, this is a child that can make this school shine with the test scores and get the report card rates up. This is a child who, okay, we got issues to work on. Who doesn't? But this child has lost 2 or 3 years of academics. And it's still going on here. I'm sorry to talk too much.
Is that how you feel also?
He's lost, I'd say, since the half of Woodlawn Middle to today of school.
How long was he in the community-based?
4
He
weeks.
was here 4 weeks,
Oh.
but it started when he was placed in Woodlawn Middle,
He started
At the end of the
class.
school year.
in the middle.
No,
He never
it was
should
the
have been in-
end.
My
It
point
was
is
in
he
the
never
middle.
should have been in community base.
But he
And-
hasn't missed like 2 years. I want to make sure.
Well, I
He wasn't
mean,
in his place for a very long time.
what happened,
Yeah.
in Woodlawn Middle is what started the whole.
Well, in answer to your question, my behavior plan, I'm not focused on the fight. Usually when we pick a behavior or two to work on, it's something that is habitual or is
Well, basically, it's
long-standing
something,
behavior.
when he does this, you need to do this.
But there was, excuse me, from what I understand, there was one fight? Is
Well, it
that
was
right?
not his fault. He was on the computer minding his business, and someone was making fun of a disabled child, which is in the rule book. You're not supposed to make fun of a disabled child.
And he reacted to it.
No, he didn't. He was calm and he was patient. What was he saying to you?
Call me a retard.
Okay. I've tried since he was little to explain to him he doesn't have a filter. When someone calls him that, he cannot say, tried to say, well, consider the source. Is the source valid? It still comes straight to his heart, and he's unable to not think like that. Okay? He continued to do so, and then he turned the computer off.
The other student turned the computer
Hmm?
off. Gotcha.
And he was still patient. He turned it back on. And then he turned it off again. He pushed the basket on the floor. It hit the kid in the foot, and the kid picked it up and threw it in my son's face. I took him to the doctor. That was the story that was told to Mrs. Myers. It was changed around and said my son threw the basket, and he did not. Then they broke it down into a big fight. And he has priors of hitting my son by just sitting in a chair doing nothing from the same kid, and was placed in an illegal class, overcrowded, with machines. Also, teacher recommended that he also be placed in robotics. She spoke with a robotics teacher. The teacher told him he would do great in my class. I also have another child who has Asperger's who does great in robotics. He's engineer, he's science, he's math, he's perfect for robotics. It's a small, instructive, small group class. That's where I want him to be. And I think that that's what's best for him.
I want to clarify something.
So I'm not changing that.
Okay.
I really am not.
I'll let you talk on the IP and
So,
then we'll get back on the behavior part.
and the so even that teacher said the same thing, and also an administrator also said it was also recommended after 3-hour meetings of my time taking off, and then the very next day he comes to class, and Mrs. Myers takes it upon herself to pull him out of the class and put him in an overcrowded class with these children who are antagonizing him on a day-to-day basis, telling him that they're going to beat him up, they're going to hit him, they're calling him retarded, and he's being very patient. I've seen this through his whole life, and me, getting my heart broken, and he'll just want to forgive them because he wants to have friends. He's very compassionate when you get to know him. He has a very sweet heart. I've never seen him be so aggravated and so upset and run away and be angry. But when you have been abused over and over, you get a limit. And I think that's where he had gotten with this past year, the year prior to it, and so on and so forth. I mean, we can go all the way back. But
Is he still in the robotics class, or did that change?
well,
He was never put in it.
Okay.
he was placed in it. The teacher was looking for it. She spoke to him that day. She told me he was in it. He was looking forward to it. Teacher recommended, and the teacher also, an administrator recommended it, and also the teacher in the class that it was not a good place for him to be put in. because of the machines and the overcrowding of the class.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify something. I did talk to the robotics teacher that day. We discussed the classes, and I'm an ESS person, so I don't know the classes here. So,
I went
it was
online and
discussed.
read about robotics.
So we just,
So
discussed.
anybody in the math and science, and him being 16 years old.
Well, anyway, I went and talked to the robotics teacher after, we did the IEP, and because someone said, oh, that's a teacher referral class. He's got to be referred by a teacher. So I went to talk to Mr. Island. Anyway, he said, well, the class, we've already got our groups. It's already started. Wait.
I'm listening.
And he said, and I said, well, he really wants to be in this class. And he said, well, I do have another child with Asperger's in my class. He said, maybe we'll give it a try and see how he does.
He said that he's having another child that has Asperger's, and he does really well. They usually do.
But he didn't say
that's
he
what
would
he
do
is.
really. He
He's
just
an
said,
engineer type gear, all that.
anyway, so he said he would try. He said we can try it and see, So anyway, that's, how that came about.
It would have been a better fit for him. A whole lot
Well,
better fit.
I think the bottom line is, I don't understand how when you have two administrators at a school and a team works for, let's see, it was 3 hours, approximately 3 hours on 9/4, approximately 3 hours on 9/7, 9/12, and then finally 9/17. I mean, all this hours spent. Why after the fact, knowledge is, oh, well, he's ninth grade. It's just the simple, basic things that I just don't understand how mistakes are being made. I mean, how this community-based placement. Anyway, I'm being redundant. I just don't want to see a repeat of illegal and bad mistakes, bad choices. Am I making sense here?
So what's the goal of today's meeting then? Are we going over the IEP or are we doing a behavior plan, do y'all think?
I
What
think
would y'all
probably
behavior.
all
I
of
think
that.
today. I think a
Let's go
behavior
on to
plan.
that.
I think
Yeah.
we need
That's
to
the
address.
first thing we have
Okay.
to
Yeah.
address.
Yeah.
Because we
And
talked
I-
about doing social work services, and when I brought the social work services assessment to the social worker, she said she had to have some type of behavior attached
Usually
to
they
it.
do a behavior plan
So
first.
we've been trying to get this together so I could give it to her so that she could
And she has
get
some
that
other
going.
outside agencies that she also wants to invite.
Right, because
from
I
community
didn't have
based.
enough time. I sent a letter, but I didn't have
Well-
enough time to invite some people that I would like.
His
to
counselor,
Things like that.
he's in
Okay.
counsel in his community. He has a case manager through community resources.
Well, if Cammy's your sister, then you probably know People Appraisal. We try to do behavior
Yeah.
support plans. We
Mhm.
try to
Mhm.
support the behavior we want
Positive
to see the
reinforce
student
it, yes.
do. So I've
And that works great.
met with the teachers, informally got some information. I had them start collecting data to get what we call a baseline. So we're getting a baseline of the two behaviors that I selected. And what I heard and what I've seen in his grades, he is having a hard time completing his class work in class time. And he also is,
I feel like he needs someone, an assistant, a para,
a para.
in the classroom.
I think we did.
with
Well,
them.
we were thinking that, well, does he have one? Does he have
Yeah.
someone?
We
that
did.
can
And
instruct him?
We
she,
did a-
remember you had
a
told
class.
me that you
Okay.
thought that he was
Okay.
getting one,
No, it
so
was an
you
online.
wasn't gonna give him any work,
Yeah.
assign him any work, because you thought that there was someone that was
No,
gonna
I
come.
never said I wasn't gonna assign him any work. He's
No,
been
I
given
said
all the
you-
assignments
no,
each
that's not what I
day.
said.
That's what you said.
That's not what I meant, and I
Okay.
wasn't finished. So, you had said that I was under the understanding that he was to have a parent, so I hadn't assigned him anything yet until she came.
Start with something first
And
before
you
going
give
down.
me I mean, you were working with him, but, you was under the understanding that there was a lady that
I
was.
was talking about from when he was, all the time that he wasn't in my class, all that time, I was giving him excuse until until he got his feet on the ground in my class. was still gonna have time to make up work that he hadn't had before, which I did in the, since then give him
Right.
like
We had given me
folders of
Saturday.
things for him that he missed when he wasn't assigned to my class. Because you had expressed to me that you wanted to go
I
back and him to make up everything he had even when he wasn't assigned to my
You would
class.
have to know that, and
Yes, I am.
I would
He was
figure
very
that he
organized.
would need to know that when he came to testing. So that's why I wanted to make sure that he
Right,
do
which
his
is what
work.
I gave you.
And you had told me that you were under the understanding that he was to have a parent.
That I thought it would be a good idea that he had an inclusion teacher, because other kids had inclusion teachers in my class.
Well,
Yes.
that's what she told me, that she was under the understanding that he would. And the day that I came and observed, I met this lady, nice lady there, and that was her first day, and he met her. So,
May I
there
ask
she
a quick
was.
question?
So,
For your inclusion, do you team the children? I mean, I know, just a general question. Are the LD or learning handicapped children, are they, whatever, in the regular diploma, are they teamed on one team so that the inclusion teacher can go to the geography and, well, the sciences and the social studies classes along with the reading and math?
No.
Or do you do the strategies intervention model here for these kids to bridge the curriculum?
Well, really here, right now, inclusion is only covered by English and math, so not science and social studies. Not enough personnel for it right now.
that's really remember you and I spoke about that, it was very hard because we maybe need to get a recorder for him to record that class, to be able to go back. A recording device. It's up to 5 devices, I believe, that's what I read in the IEP you can get.
I just can't understand that.
Under rights law, trying to educate myself here for my child. You know, if he can't get somebody, maybe the recorder can record everything because, you know, I mean, the man's doing everything he possibly can. I mean, it's overcrowded. And, you know, you can't expect, you know, and he is visually impaired. That's the schools, and I want to talk to you about that too. He's kind of was sitting out of the way, and the writing is a little, you know, not as legible or understandable, but he finished his little test, and he raised his hand and asked if he could read a book, and he said he could, and then they were on to the next, because you really have to switch classes so fast. That is a lot for them to read. I don't think I could do that. But, you know, and then they're very long, you know. So, you know, he's got this big class, and he's telling them, you know, what next to do, and he's in his Harry Potter book. And, you know, the man's trying to get through the class, and he didn't redirect Blake. So he needs somebody, if the class is going to be that big, he's going to need some type of redirecting or someone in there to help him.
Wasn't he in a smaller class at the beginning? He was in
A community.
Was that the?
He was in a self-contained class,
How did he
which
do in
he's
that
a regular
smaller?
education.
Well, how did he do in that being a smaller setting?
He went behind. He went backwards. He's
They were
smart.
at a
He's
different
not
level.
gonna. He's not gonna be able to get the things that I want him to get. I mean, he has a brain and he needs to use it. They couldn't talk in that class.
How was his organization?
He has no organization whatsoever. In fact, it's hard for me to be organized. But since elementary, and I've got K through now, the problem has always been finishing
Why does it lag?
finishing his working class
Lag.
and turning it in. That is
You know what
always
lag?
been. He'll stuff it in his pocket. He'll stuff
know,
it in his
when you
book bag.
text
We've
something
had the
and
red
come up with
folder.
me,
It's gone back and forth. We've done everything. In fact, in science, when I went to observe, I try to go in to see what I can do to help the teacher, help him be on task. And he did his complete science, homework, bookwork, in 24 hours, half a science. So, and he did the math pretty quick. I've been sick, and then with the holidays and things like that. But if you really added the time that he spent, it didn't take him long to catch up his work. so.
Can I come home with you?
Now you're going home with Miss Pam. I'm just teasing.
Is that door locked?
Come in.
Probably so.
Because it'd be kind of
So-
stupid if I had to go back on the bus when y'all were
So,
just here.
whenever I have what he needs to do,
Excuse me,
and
the bus driver wants to know if Blake's gonna be riding the bus.
no, I'm gonna go ahead and say, because I want him here to be able to, has anyone brought you in small groups and taken
No.
you outside of the class and gave
No.
you instruction?
Except for speech.
That's not what I'm asking.
But I said no.
Okay, thank you. Has.
And that's when I added
Because
except
he
for
used
speech.
to have that before. So what modifications have you done in this past half year? What have you done? Anyone?
Well, in the,
He's in study skills.
But all they do in study skills is
Have
write
that
5 definitions.
For
And one of the things that
did they help with,
one of the-
organization skills? Because I know the one at Baton High.
all they have to
does
do
organization.
is write 5 definitions, and if they do, they get an extra
Well,
point.
I'll tell you that in my class,
No.
I have given him Miss L'Oreal, I have given him, or I have made a folder for him, that when he comes into the classroom every day, along with his calculator, he gets his algebra folder. He goes, it's always at my desk. He sits down, he opens it, and he works from, all of his work stays in my classroom in that folder. Because you
Very
had told
good.
me that he has a
Very
problem
good.
with
You're very
getting the
good.
stuff back to you.
You're very good.
So we keep that in there.
Very good.
Now, the stuff that I sent home, that's duplicate things, you know, the stuff that he didn't have to begin with.
Okay.
And Miss Perkins also goes around and works with him. Now, I also have a student teacher in my classroom, and all 3 of us, when we see that he's not on task, we go back and say, you need to turn that off, you need to get back, you need to do the warm-ups that we're doing today. So we
I
do
appreciate
redirect
it. You're
him.
doing a good job.
We
Thank
do
you.
redirect him.
Well, we've talked about the math teacher. She's good, she's doing great.
We're trying.
She talks about the math. She's like, I like the math teacher. I don't have
In a classroom setting, when I'm in there with Ms. Spike, you know, we have small group where they're working with Pure Get
You have a
Right.
para
And he seemed to like the little group that he's in right now,
Right.
for that.
No, we
Can
don't
you
work in
show me
small groups
besides
all the time. No,
in
no,
math,
We do
what
have
y'all
some
have
small.
done? Like her, anybody can show me any,
Well, I think I'm the only
Well-
regular ed teacher that's in here right now.
oh, okay.
So I don't think anybody,
What
yeah.
class
Mr. Collins has a class right now.
I think
do?
And it's because I'm
does
off
he
this hour that I'm in here.
He's our site facilitator for ESS, so he's in here just to assist with the meeting.
He just assists with, okay.
But a lot of times, Blake want to accept the assistance, you know, when offered. This morning in English, in Mr. Collins' class, we had an open book test, an open notes. They had the notes. And he didn't want to use his notes. He refused to use the notes.
Did
Which
he use the
after I
notes?
located the notes for him, because we still, I tried to do the same thing like in
Where
the
were
Spice
they?
class.
Did he know where they were?
Well,
It was turned in to
they
him.
were turned in a folder, which I had his notes, and I pulled them, because we try to keep up with his work in the classroom, so I pulled his notes and brought it to him, and he refused them. So, I had Mr. Collins to quickly look over the tests and to find the ones that he had gotten incorrect, and then take the notes back and make the corrections, and he wouldn't do that either.
Well, I did do them. Y'all
Okay.
just wasn't looking when I did it.
Okay, I was just gonna ask you
No,
why.
he wouldn't use the,
I didn't want to use the notes because
Why didn't you wanna use the notes?
even though it was an open note test,
Uh-huh.
it still felt like a cheating to me.
Okay, so you didn't need them, did you get them right?
I only missed 4, but I redid those and got them right.
Had you had the book,
because I didn't see it. The bell sounded and I had to leave, so.
so had you had the book, you think if you would have opened the book, you might have got, wouldn't have had to redo that?
Say again,
Okay,
please.
hey, you're in a meeting, will you please take that out of your ear and turn the light? Thank you.
That's one of the
Thank
things
you.
we want to keep here. I don't want him to bring it home.
No more iPad. We
Because
have-
even in class, I had to tell
It's-
him in class one day to
We
take
might
one
have
of
to
the
get someone to
earpieces
look
off
at
so
it.
he
We're
can hear
gonna-
the
stuff off.
When did he get
That's
Did he get that recently?
AT
Yeah.
brought it out,
just a couple, like
Weeks
a week ago or so.
they actually brought it before he was out, and then it was locked up, and then they came back and got it when he was out. And then
Well,
I
he
called
hasn't
him.
really
Is he
used
supposed to
it.
have that in class with him?
Well, this is what.
This is a school.
Okay.
We all
That's
are
what
aware
they're
of that.
saying.
We're aware of that, honey. What I was showing, now I've given, and it would really, I would love if, and I don't mean any disrespect whatsoever, you would read the Asperger of New England handouts that I gave in the very beginning, in the first meeting. It gives you so much, easy, of a different way that can make.
Do you want him to have this in class, in algebra class?
This is what he doesn't need that in algebra class.
That's
I
what
don't
I was
think.
thinking,
I
because.
don't think he needs that in algebra. It's when he needs to
Calculator.
write.
Okay.
Or discuss.
Okay.
Or
The
describe.
iPad is for
He cannot do that.
writing, I got you. And if it becomes a
And-
distraction,
It becomes also an obsession, a fixation that is part of his disability. So what you have to do is remain very calm because he will go into a meltdown over.
I want to ask you,
Yes, ma'am.
do you think is this meeting his needs, or do we need to get them to
Well,
look at
it would
doing
meet
something
his
else?
needs if we could get the
Games taken off.
the internet. The only thing that I would like for him to be able to do is his work on that at school.
Okay.
Excuse me, Ms. Lyons. I'm very familiar with the iPad. Right now, they don't have a word processing package on the iPad.
Notes.
That, notes,
Use
but
the notes.
here's the catch-22. He can type the notes on there, but he can't print the notes off. There's no way to
Can
print
you
the stuff
email
off.
it?
You can email
But
them.
you
Can you, well, maybe
Hold
afterward.
on, Ms. Lyons, I'm not gonna go back and forth with you. I'm telling you the limitations of the device. You just said you didn't want him with the internet on it.
Mhm.
So it's
That's
a
right.
piece of technology that we talked about called an Alpha Smart. It's like a typewriter.
Oh,
It
yeah.
does the same thing. It
We
doesn't have the
kinda
games
talked
on
about
it. You
that.
can't listen to music, and you can print stuff
Got the
strictly for
auditory.
school. You know,
Fine.
and you want with that, you can
Fine.
play games, you can listen to music, you can watch videos, and I can understand the fixation with it because once he gets in tune with it, it's hard to get it from him. So I think
Exactly right.
technology, I would agree with you, he needs some kind of help, but an iPad, it may not be the thing we may
It
want to
doesn't-
try. It's called an Alpha Smart.
Yeah, we had kind of talked about that.
And doesn't
Maybe
the
as an
other-
alternative.
doesn't the Alpha Smart also like have the ability to like to record a class lecture on it too? I mean, there's
I don't
I'm not
know.
sure. Something like
With
that,
the older
but
one,
yeah.
it's kind of like a typewriter,
Yeah.
but if it has that same technology on it, we can, perhaps use the Alpha Smart because that might be better for his needs because, like the teacher says, he sits, he listens, he plays games, and it's a distraction. And if
It
you try
is.
to, redirect him, he gets upset.
It's that
So
he's
why
gonna have
not
a
even,
meltdown.
yeah.
Exactly.
So let's try to find him the
And it will-
Alpha
I think
Smart
so.
that would be best for him to
Continue
use.
to
we're on
happen.
the same page there. That's good.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right, yay.
Well, it's
And I'm
true.
finding that I had the
It-
teachers collect some
because
data
it's-
on his work completion, and a lot of the notes were that they couldn't get him off the iPad to do the work.
Yeah.
You can't. And it's when he thinks it's his. That's another thing
Yeah.
with the Asperger or this Asperger child. There it's his.
And
And
look-
then once he thinks it's his, you can't have it.
And here's the
And it's, can cause him to have a meltdown. I mean, that's his disability.
That may
So
not
there's
be
a
the
different
best
way, but there's a way of
technology.
handling that. There's a way of, because I can get it from him calmly, without a meltdown. But you have to remain very calm and very patient. And
I
like he
think
does
that's
like to
probably
hug.
something his other regular ed teachers need to know too.
They do, really do need to know. And it's
Like
all in
something
how
put
you
in
handle.
here.
But what's happened is because of the damage of him being, he's never been that way before. He's become
Well, I see a different side of him. I see a sweet
a
kid,
very sweet child.
and like you say, when he is challenged, that's when the Asperger's thing kicks in and stuff. So, so we're working.
And
with
it's an easy, it's just a really easy way to handle it. It's, you know,
But when you have 30 other kids in the classroom and they're all, sometimes it's hard. I'm just to let you know, we're doing, we're trying.
It's hard
but,
with,
you know, it's like there are other
two
kids in the
kids.
classroom too,
And I
and
have
that's
them.
hard to deal with too. So you have to.
But you
we
still
kinda all
have to
be
deal with it
patient.
in a
Yes,
positive
we all
way.
have to deal with it.
Because the way you react to the way that I've seen a certain person react in front of me, and getting in my son's face and things like that in front of me really kind of made me concerned what would he do when I wasn't here. And that is showing others that it's okay to treat him that way. So, with respect of that, if he's disrupting, send him to the office. Call me. I will have, believe me, I will have your back. Always.
I got back on
I always have.
Tuesday.
When I try to come and sit in class, I want to see what I can do to help him, help you. That's what, when I came to her class,
Look,
that's
I've been doing
basically what I
everything.
did. And
So I've been doing everything, and when I'm done,
the reason with the iPad came in, you get a really good discount, especially on
I never
software.
wanted to
I don't know if
say
y'all
everybody.
know that. I mean, like Adobe, that's $5,000. It's like $399 for teachers and stuff. It's really great. So, but what my point
still
was
do
with the
work, though.
iPad was to show the journey to career, how it said write 3 sentences on blah 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 blah. Well, you use the word write. You can't do that. Or describe.
Here's the one for the.
You can't do that. And they don't like to write. So instead of saying describe, it was just an ABC picture, like a coloring, out of a coloring book. Describe what you see in the picture. And you can see the Asperger children, not at this school, were just, you know, they just couldn't get it. And it was ABC, you know, easy. And it was the word describe. So when you literally covered up the word describe and said, what do you see in the picture? Oh, well, he's watering plants and she's picking daffodils. It was nothing. It was a redirect. That was it. It was so simple. And it's that simple of learning on how to teach children who have Asperger's. That's why I sent those papers, because that's what I had to do. Because I'd never heard of it before, and I wanted to know what I needed to do as a parent to make sure that his mind didn't go to waste, because he's very, very smart. And so, you know, that's why I brought it. Not to say, you know, because some teachers get intimidated, and, you know, I've had that happen before. Get mad, well, like I'm saying that they don't know what they're doing, that they've taught an Asperger child before, but when you met one child with Asperger's, you've only met one child. They're all different. None of them are the same. I've had an Asperger meetup group for 1.5 years at my studio, and I met lots of different Asperger's, you know. So, you know, they're all different. So
I'm getting a lot of good information about what I can put in his behavior plan on how to make requests and give directions, and that actually fits in line with the behaviors that were selected to work on him with, based on information I got from the school. But what I was thinking of trying with him, if the school can set it up, and I have to work with them to see if they have the capacity to do a check-in, check-out system. We've seen that be very. Are you familiar with that one, being a teacher, being successful with students in organization as well as work completion? Does he work for things? Like if he earns certain points, would he work for things at the school, like extra computer time?
And the best thing is me, if I want him to do something, I won't give it to him at all until he's done.
So we could use you at
That's
home
just
also.
me,
if
I'm
we get so many
harder, I
points,
mean,
you can
I'm
maybe
very
earn something
harder,
at
I'm
home.
not
Is
gonna
it similar to the
have to
Fox?
beg him every 15 minutes to get off of it, finish it. And then
How
he'll-
check-in, check-out works, and I'll explain it to all of y'all also.
Is it similar to the Fox plan?
Like kind of a mentor. He would have someone assigned to him. He would come in the morning.
Okay.
They would make sure he has his homework ready to go, all of his supplies, pencils, paper, that he's got his books ready to go to class. There's a sign-in sheet that you review the expectations of the class, and the behaviors that he was exhibiting was that he would make verbalizations in the class that could be disruptful, and I've already kind of seen if he has a thought, he said, there's not a lot of raising the hand or getting attention, it's, I'm gonna question.
That's the ADHD.
And because of that, he was
He has
drawing
that as
attention
well.
to himself, disrupting the class, and also he wasn't getting his classwork done.
And he's not the only one.
So those are the two behaviors that I've got for him.
I'm not
Not
the only
fighting
one
or
not
anything.
getting
That's good,
my
I
work
understand what you're
done.
saying.
Yeah,
That's
so
good.
if he stays on task, he's gonna get his
Yeah.
work done, his grades should go up.
But I also have
And if he has
him
any sidebar, he can
evaluated.
ask the teacher and have a question, because I
It's
think
very
I think he
positive
questions a
what they're
lot in
You're
the
saying-
classroom.
She's talking about putting him on like a checklist, a routine, comes in, and more points, positive.
Always, regardless positive.
At the end of the day, the checkout portion is, so we've already done the check-in. Would he be able to keep up with one piece of paper from class to class?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
It could be on his iPad. I don't know if we.
But if
that's
we get
the
Most
balance
likely,
for him.
it would be like what paper?
Maybe we won't do the iPad. But he does need to be accountable for something.
I always keep
understand.
track of the
I
iPad.
understand. I've tried
Tried.
everything.
But it may
Over
even
and
just be
over
that he
again
needs
every
to go to
year.
the teacher after class to get his points. And if it's valuable to him, he'll remember to do it.
Well, he's been in a routine at least, what they say, 21 days.
Yeah.
Becomes a routine.
You all right?
Need some water. Put your arms above your head. Put your arms
Like,
up.
need some water?
Open up your,
Sorry.
I need to sound disgusting.
Okay.
So, so the first thing is the behavioral, is what we go over.
I've got a lot of information from you today just from this meeting, but I do have a parent interview of what we use as our FBAs, if you would like to look at it and fill it out and get it back to the school. Ms. Pam can make sure I get it. But it's just blank, I don't have his name in it or anything, I'll let you fill it out in case anyone drops it or something, no one will know who it's for. I'm gonna let that go.
Also, I have, I'm getting some evaluation
Just sign in.
Okay.
Should
for
I take
you,
it home?
for,
Should've done that first
I'm waiting
before
on
everybody.
them to call me back too, so.
You should be on there.
He's been evaluated, so I'm going to put that in.
You see?
Oh, that's right.
As
I do
That's
have,
regular education teacher Amber I have Klein under here. Douglas.
There was something too
thought we
that I
had
just,
to, but no.
I did not say.
Sign there, then it will cross out her.
It was
and
in
put-
the
and write you in.
last,
This is the one from April.
Regular ed teacher,
Yeah,
that's
just
where I
cross
use
when
her
she
out.
read that
Cross
to
her
me,
out,
because
put
we
you-
had been 3 hours.
I'm sorry, I have to
That
go
he
help my
only
daughter
takes
pay
a
her
bath
tuition.
every 2 weeks.
We understand.
That is not what I see.
is that in the IEP?
No, wait, what?
That he bathes every 2 weeks?
Yeah. You remember when you showed me that? I was like, what?
Is it possible to come on?
Thank you, Ms. Pike.
Will I be able to take
He
it
might get to
home?
play piggy on weekends.
Okay.
He's
No,
like,
I'm gonna,
you know, Friday
pass
night.
this
I
around.
remember that's what my grandmother used to call it. You get to
I'm
play piggy night. Mama Lion.
I'm gonna pass
Tammy's
this around for us
grandma.
to sign in, everybody, okay?
Is
Cammy's
he still on
grandma.
Vyvanse and Farmington?
And Wellbutrin now, and
Will I be able to take it home today?
I would
not
rather you
well,
not.
Sign it, and I'll pass it this way. Do I
Oh,
have you
y'all
on
do
there?
take it home, I think.
Put you as a other.
Is this the technology
If
wanted
he-
you to sign this release?
Well, let's wait. This says iPad.
I,
it says to
because,
go home,
because
'cause
someone,
you don't want-
well, I don't know what class, principal.
Besides, if I was to leave it
one of
here,
his
most
class,
likely without the teacher
someone
looking,
stole your charger.
a kid would take it.
And that's, what class were you in when your charger was stolen from the iPad?
I was in the second hour.
like an hour, so.
And,
You know, I don't wanna be responsible for
and then I
charges
put
and
it
stuff
in,
like that.
I put it in here, too.
How do they,
And ever heard of pickpocketing?
well, I think you would've,
Yeah.
maybe it fell out, I don't think you,
This is what I
I don't
have as a
think
draft
somebody
for the
pickpocketed
first
you, I
meeting,
think
and
you'd probably
maybe
find out.
I'll let you look at it, that's just my
Huh?
draft.
That's
on-
okay.
Don't let me do this.
No,
No, you're good.
my-
Oh,
phone
on
over
the
here.
first page of the behavior plan, but
Mhm.
this is just what I was talking about, the two
You're okay,
behaviors
you're
and what a
okay. That's
definition
okay.
of, so if
Okay.
anybody walked
That's
in
okay.
and saw them, say, okay, that's the behavior.
Um,
And
That's-
what I
yeah,
think
I
is the
mean-
hypothesis as to
Um,
what they're seeing. and what-
Okay, so the verbal outbursts,
Huh?
okay, so Blake,
Yeah,
are
but
you
that's
having
okay, 'cause
verbal
we can see
outbursts
it.
in class?
Yeah.
You're good, you're good. And that's just a
Like-
definition, and that's what that means.
Not,
What are you having verbal outbursts in class? And not raising your hand or waiting your turn or something like that?
when no one answers.
It's perfect.
When no one answers what they
For that
What's the
question the
date
teacher
of
asked.
the
Meeting notifications.
for this
And when you
meeting?
answer it, are you
Just the
right?
three? We just
Um,
change that.
An answer is an answer, but I don't really know
Okay. So, that was, I guess, the first thing is the bike. The second thing is
And it's a
site.
support plan, because we're gonna try to support maybe raising his hand, or asking the teacher to come over if he has a question instead of across the room. I have a question, I disagree.
I have raised my hand a lot.
Well, then he could get reimbursed for doing it, so we wanna see more of that.
Right, he's got, I mean,
Just that most of the time they don't pay attention at all.
Okay.
so
You're
tell me
leaving
how you
robotics.
feel this past year has gone for you, Blake.
Oh, I don't think we've
Rough.
discussed that yet.
Can you tell me
Completely,
why?
Okay, I'm gonna sign up.
Kids,
Just, you're signing in.
What kids?
We're not signing for,
just,
accepting the IEP yet, we're signing in.
What's going on? Because, I'm not here, and when you're here, I would like for you to be able to communicate with the teachers and tell them what's going on before
that's just on them.
things get out of hand. So, can you elaborate?
Right.
Because I don't know, this is the first, I mean,
Didn't we have
I've,
three?
first time I've really just asked him that because I wanted him to tell me.
I thought we had three.
And I
meeting
could do an
notifications.
observation
And
in class
then-
to be more, I'm just going
Was
based
that,
on.
okay, well, that'll work.
What I was told, but I could,
Well, he's
I'm
almost
thinking of
at
more
14.
concrete
He's got, I mean, in the
definition.
workplace, there's not, you've got,
the second one is the completion.
Yeah, he does have a hard time, he's finishing his work and turning it in. And then when he would bring his work home and we'd get him to finish it, it would still be in his book sack and not turned in. So, I've been in class, we'd be in a meeting and she said, we had the red folder back and forth and I made sure it was in there and she says, it's not in there. I said, go get his book sack. Pulled it out, there's his work. So he's not,
So that might be good at the checkout
he's
person, but I wanted to show you
not
that. It'll be
doing that.
typed,
I think
but
that
that's
she
the
really
thing.
has the idea, the math lady has got it under control. She really does, with, keeping on him and keeping it, and has a system. And then he becomes used to that, making it into a routine.
That's what I'm hoping will happen with
He
check-in,
needs a
check-out.
routine, he has to have a routine.
Who's his check-in, check-out person?
None.
Do we?
I think we have to
It just,
figure one out.
it's easier for
Whoever
him
will
once
have
he
the
does.
availability that he.
Who's available more and
Connects
who does
with.
he connect with more? Like who-
Someone that doesn't think I'm arguing at the slightest, to when I just try to add information so he doesn't know I'm not trying to do anything wrong.
For instance,
Who
what
would
are you
you
talking
call
about?
that? Who would you call that here, Blake?
Oh, you're one of them.
Okay then.
Okay,
And,
so.
and actually, if you want it to be locked up, there's several places I can secure that. In file cabinet, in a locked room,
Locked
inside
up.
the locked
Does
room.
he
We're
keep
talking,
it
but
during,
I
like,
thought we were
ELA
talking
class?
about something different.
Right, but on top of that, the part of the check-in could be
Well,
while
I'm
he's
gonna-
coming to
When
get his
he comes to
material.
If we
check
can
out in the
finish-
afternoon, he can lock up his device.
Can
for
we
him.
finish talking about what's going on?
With
Okay.
behavior.
What, and how he feels like, okay, so you're in what class? And I didn't know, he's not in your class, or he's
No,
in
ma'am.
that?
And he
Okay.
doesn't have a class.
Okay, so,
Actually works well, because
okay, so
Yeah, it's
what,
needed all over the school.
purpose do you serve for Blake?
For example, usually I deal with kids when it comes to behavior, not always behavior. I'll tend to pull kids out, especially for a couple of kids that sometimes need cooling off. Or I'll pull kids that need tests read to them if Ms. Perkins or other inclusion teachers aren't available. So I do the same things as everybody else. I just have a little bit more wiggle room to reach some kids that aren't also always on my caseload. So I deal with seniors, juniors, sophomores, freshmen.
Jack of all
Okay,
trades.
so when are you adding information to his
It's
discussion?
just when there's a, when an incident happened with one of those kids with when they try to get me in trouble when I didn't do anything, and y'all don't when a teacher doesn't let even y'all would do that and don't lie. And y'all get annoyed when you weren't able to talk.
Like tell what happened,
Yeah.
like they're not listening to
Yeah,
it.
just to not try to make it go and be one-sided, just to let them know what happened. Like, of course, other people might not do that, but I do that.
Hear your side kind of thing, is that what
Yeah,
you're
just
saying?
my side.
He gets very frustrated when he's unable to talk, when he's unable to tell you what happened and to hear his side of the story. And I think that's where he's starting to get, when you have a negative reaction to something, it's going to make him more isolated. And he's going to make him feel like he's not able to come to you and talk. And that's happened not here, but I'm just saying, as an example, it's happened at another school because the basketball's too loud. He wanted to play chess. And she said he could play chess. I was observing. He went to get the chess game. He came out, and she starts screaming at him, "What are you doing? You could be in there stealing." Well, he's thinking she's calling him a thief, and all he did was go get the chess game. But if you don't want him to get the chess game, you have to have, yes, you can play chess, but you have to wait until I go and get it for you because you're not allowed to go in that room. He doesn't know unwritten laws. And it can be a little draining, but you have to give him every single detail.
Okay.
Or he doesn't know. He gets in trouble if he's eating out of turn or, not waiting his turn. It's called, intuitive laws that we just take for granted. We know when the bell rings, it's time to go to the next class. But sometimes he doesn't know.
It's just
Well,
the
I
ones
mean,
that are not very obvious.
I'm using that as an example. It may not be the bell, but,
No, I'm just saying
It
it's
could
just
be-
the ones that are not very obvious.
well, to you they're not very obvious, but to some other people they are very
Has Blake
obvious.
ever had a behavior support plan before?
He has in Shenandoah.
Well, that was your regular class, wasn't it? That folder.
Well, we had the red folder, and
Yeah,
when he
the
did
class.
this,
School.
they gave him
Yeah.
rewards. They would pull him out of class in small groups. They would do, But he didn't he
Resource
didn't
minutes.
make eye contact back
He wasn't full regular,
then.
he
He was
wasn't
covering
full
his ears,
self-contained.
screaming
He
at
was in the
loud
middle,
noise,
he was
oversensitive.
Speech only.
He had
He-
all those signs
Speech
there, but I
only
didn't know
up
that at
until,
first.
I
Never
think,
heard of him. What's that?
up until I think middle school or later, like 5th or 6th grade. When did he start? He was speech only up through what grade?
He
Did they
really-
increase his time in special ed? But he's always been regular ed in terms of placement, whether inclusion or.
Right.
Has his
What did I
work
write down
completion
about the
just gone down
speech?
recently?
Remember what I was telling you
Um,
about the language
Yeah, his grades
that I
from
wanted to talk about?
and that were all A's and B's. And it was on middle, I have to go back and check, I'm not really sure, I didn't really know him.
It's just the homework and the work turning in
But in
is
other
always
words-
affecting him. That's what
It's a little
affects
different.
him.
But what I'm
Setting
getting at
it.
is, have you
It's
seen?
shortened, they shortened instead of writing Diana Bartlett, when, instead of writing the words 5 times, he'd write it in 2.
But he hasn't really been failing though, has he, like he is
No.
now? He hasn't.
Well, the
really-
only reason why he's failing is he has incomplete work that he's not turning in.
Well, and
That's
he's
every
just-
year. That is every year. This is the same thing.
Well, I thought also the
And
frustration might have been getting to
it's-
him.
No, that's every year. Every year. Nothing has changed with him being in, and that's why I try to come in and see, okay, let me go find out where he is so I can catch him up, to help him help the teachers. Because obviously, if they're overcrowded, what's wrong with me coming in and helping out? I don't understand that. Or helping him, or not interrupting the class, or wherever if they want me to sit in a certain place, please tell me. I only got to come and observe for one day, and that was like, I was sat up in the front. I didn't know he was in the back. He should have been up in the front, But there was no other, it was just some of the things that was told, that I could come and help in the
I know a lot
the
of
office
times in
and.
the class, where I've attempted to work with him, he doesn't want my help most of the time, so I'll go through the,
And
I'll
she
go
didn't
through the
want me there.
instructor. I'll go through the instructor to get him the assistance sometime that he needs. But there were times when he would welcome, what I was saying and accepted it. Now, a lot of times, or a few times, let's say, for example, he likes the mechanics and he loves the calculators as well as that iPad. And so one day I was able to, check off as we went along. Did you copy number 1? He would copy number 1, and I would give him a few minutes on the calculator, and then I'd come back. I said, now you need to work on number 2. But it was like a step-by-step, giving him a reward a little bit at a time as we go along. Now, that worked one time, but then the next time,
Once he has
it
that in
didn't
his
work that
possession,
way. Yeah.
you're not getting it.
Yeah, but then Ms. Fike had to tell him, like, we were doing definitions one day, and he wanted a calculator. We didn't need the calculator for definitions, so it was kind of hard.
Well, the writing,
back.
you're asking him to write.
Okay.
That's kind of,
I have
if he
another
could
meeting
type
I need
it
to go to at
on the
Star.
computer.
Yeah, but get him to try to stay on task and to complete the assignments, because sometimes he want to get back to that
Do you
iPad so badly, he'll just write something down just to.
But I looked at the board, what
I'll tell you
the
what.
answer was.
How about
Christine,
if we
she
finish,
has another meeting to go to.
if we do the behavior
She-
plan, would that be good? And we'll leave everything else, then we can come back? In other words,
Okay, I gave y'all the FBA to complete, but I have a really good start already.
She's been
And
taking notes on things she needs to
Okay.
include.
I have my
Well, I have,
scratch paper.
well, we're not gonna sign off on the IEP today, but she's gotta finish the behavior plan, but
If
we'll
y'all
get
did
back.
want to sign off the IEP, that's, thank you so much.
I'd rather wait till you know.
Okay.
'cause-
Because this
and
is
I
always
was,
something that can be added to it or
also, if I can
amended or-
get
Yeah,
an email where I could give you some of the,
you have
the psychologist or psychiatrist, the eval, and some things that I could get to you
To
as
her?
well.
Yeah.
If that's okay.
the CAC and
Um,
stuff.
I was gonna
Do you have a
suggest
business
too-
card?
That's what I'm searching for.
All right, great. What's your name again?
Christine. Broussard.
Christine, okay, Christine.
A lot of times, Mr.
That should be
Davis
easy for me.
will pull up published classwork.
And you're
For
with
students.
pupil appraisal, Christine?
Yes, ma'am. We need to, come to a
Mr.
decision on how it's gonna look like at y'all's school for check-in, check-out. I could pass that down.
I think you made an excellent accommodation too. Suggestion with that.
Yeah.
I think it
Because I
would be a lot better, and then it's big enough and he can easily type on it with that. That's kind of
I've
tricky.
used
I'm
that.
gonna get
Oh,
one.
you have one?
Miss Hill have one.
I'ma get one.
I'd rather him not be able to get in games and computer.
Well,
That's, it's just too
you can't do
distracting.
any of that.
You
This
can't.
is strictly academic stuff.
That's why
And
I
if-
like that idea much better than that.
We're gonna look up and see if the newer model ones have a recording device.
Yeah.
And if it does, we
'Cause
can
it would
get a
help
commercial
him
on the phone.
in the larger class where, you know, he's not hearing everything because he's doing something else, or because there's no one else in there to help him.
Before she leaves, would she like to schedule a follow-up now? Do you have a calendar?
Okay.
I can't do it right now.
Okay.
I'm disobeying doctor's orders.
Here's
I'm
what's
under
going on
doctor's
with
care.
Christine. I mean, for real. Christine lost her shot with Hurricane Isaac. Her salon, which is over, full service hair salon, massage, and thing. It's been moved to the house. Then moved to another place, moved back. On top of all of this, on top of having I've had this shop for 10 years.
And then my tooth
and then-
being pulled, and then
she's
cracked
had
in
dental
2
surgery, so
places,
it's kind of like when it
stress.
rains, it pours. So.
Well, how it usually works is I get 2 days to write the behavior plan, and the 14th would be the 9th working day. Like if tomorrow is the first day.
Well, I'll
we
have
get
to
to
go home and think
Well, you want
about
to
it.
let us know, like, when you're feeling
Okay,
better,
I see
and-
what they're saying.
And maybe
I
y'all
just
can
need
coordinate.
to, right now,
Okay.
my head's swimming right now.
In other words, what you're really asking is, do you need to send a 10-day written notice for the behavior plan? Is that kind of where we're going? I mean, is
Well,
that
we don't have to,
they
but
can call or email? Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Whatever I'm supposed to do.
All right, so you're talking like the 14th.
The 17th would be 10 days, if the parent's unable to come
Well,
or
the
or
17th
can't
is
come, it
right
can't take longer.
before.
But we usually go by 10 working days to get, to be in
Right.
a timely manner and not have
Isn't
anything
it
go for
17th
too
like
long.
the day before?
Right,
Or the
right.
last day? the
Exactly.
break?
The students, because of the hurricane, I think now go through the 20th, all the way to the 21st? Okay.
I'd get my daughter back in.
Okay, so since she's the first for behavior, and that's pretty, what about language? Who does the language?
That's it? Oh, you have one?
Now, for communication, Ms. Ms. Roberts.
And the way it works is, they just type into it, and then you put something to it, and you can print out everything
Where's
else.
Ms. Robinson?
This is what he
No,
needs.
no,
This is
what he needs. That's
I much rather him with that.
Yeah, and how it works is,
I
you type all
want him
his
to
notes in
focus
here,
on school.
and then you just connect it to a computer and then print out everything that he's typed.
Great. That's what we,
And the teacher can print it out in the class.
and, because I was showing her about the little girl Carly that had autism, that twins, and she hadn't spoke. She was 11 years old. And, the computer was left on, and she went up there and she typed help. And she got sick and threw up. And it was, I mean,
The 10th, we have.
now she's typing, and she has to type for whatever she wants. And it was the first time her dad met her daughter, his daughter, spoke to his daughter. She was 11 years
Mr.
old.
Wallace was in Mr. Blankenship's office when I went to get the key to open the door. Because I told him I was going to get an Alpha Smart to show you.
Now, if you come that
So he can have this
morning,
instead of
I'll be
the
available. I just
the
have an
iPad. He
observation
says that
that
he
morning,
stays on there
but
playing games
anything-
in his class office. So he definitely needs this.
So,
Yeah, whenever he came over to
That's
me, I was
something
like,
else.
No, on
do
December
they
10th.
know what they have
Because
done?
we started our meeting.
This would be ideal for him right here.
That's all I want.
Oh,
I want him
that's
to
smart
come,
goal.
because he's smart. I want him to be able, I don't want to lock him up. I mean, I could put him at,
At least be able to play
RuneScape at home. I'll ask him.
if you
to
do
come
what you're
see if they can
supposed to
swap
be
it out.
doing with your room, you
And I don't
know
think we
the
need to do
law.
another assessment, I'm saying, send the
I have
comments.
laws, and you're going to follow.
It's one thing.
And if you do what I say you do, then you get rewarded.
Now, on the IEP last time,
Yeah, see, him checking
we really don't
in-
have to
him
change
checking
the
in
wording
spirit, me
because
giving
we
him
didn't
his
put
own.
iPad. We put, for AT device, we put access to a portable adaptive device for use with writing
Add a
assignments.
recording for his large recording device.
I just
A
didn't want
recording
her,
device?
yeah, I just didn't want them to change robotics.
We'll be
Discuss
okay.
all that, and we're not gonna do that
I'm not
today.
changing.
That's all. So keep robotics, keep robotics on there until we really have time.
I'm not changing.
Yeah, sign in.
But,
Did you sign
so,
it?
no, I didn't sign it. Okay, where's, my notebook page?
We said
I
9
had
a.m.
written for the language, or you wrote down what I told you to say?
Yeah, right here. We
Oh,
got
okay,
the,
thanks. Or write down what I was
30
saying.
minutes to get Josh to do this.
Okay, I have to leave in
Yeah.
15 minutes, so.
Yeah, your
Or either
baby.
you can,
This is my daughter and her birthday. She's still in the system. I mean,
okay, so we've gotten that part done.
here, under here too. if you wanted to. Now, do you want him to give the?
Josh is at the Shenandoah.
Do you want him to give that back now? Or you want bring it home one last time?
At the
or
end
what?
of the meeting?
At the end of the meeting?
We leave.
Y'all want to leave it or y'all wanna take it?
No, that's why I'm asking her what she wants to, if she wants him to turn it in like now, at the end of the meeting,
Nice to
or?
meet you.
Well, you
Like
want-
that's what I was saying, I could lock it up
Well,
and
you
in
want,
the morning.
well, I'm
Yeah.
thinking that turn it in to him possibly, but hold
Yeah.
on to it until he get the new device. I don't know, but I mean,
But he needs to keep it here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Let him have it.
All right.
You can't take it personal.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
And Blake, first thing every morning when
The
you
more
come,
pick it up.
the
just
more
come to me
energy you
so
give
can get
it, the bigger you're gonna make it.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
just the way it
check
is.
in with Mr.
What about
Davis.
on Fridays though?
No. That's it.
Spoken, Mom.
No, I mean, it's what's best for him. That's, I mean, it
That's two
takes
good
over.
things.
It takes over.
That's two good things. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It
Um,
takes over.
We do just to sign in. We're not signing the back page. We're just signing in that we met.
Page two.
And then we'll have to sign in again the next time. That's just those that participated in the meeting. And in the meantime too, also look at,
Now, I'll just
Um,
compare the copies,
okay.
when we're ready.
put
This
a
is
call across
403.
that, let me see, put a draft across that, because
I'm just
you
gonna
bring
put
this-
roll call on here then.
What, Micah?
No, she's talking about.
But I'm really serious about like they
Oh,
really do
thank
hardly
you.
give
Me
out
too.
homework.
They know you're.
I'm just gonna, no, I'm just gonna put roll call.
No, let her do it. She's on our copy. She knows that we're not signing the back page. She'll tell you what they're getting on.
Anything.
That's all right, we're gonna get the
I'm not
behavior
signing
plan.
anything.
But I'm
What?
serious, they really,
Not the term.
they
You
really,
can sign, but you can't, this is page 2, which is the sign
Thank you,
in,
Mr. Davis.
like roll call.
Thanks.
I've signed it.
but they really do rarely
It's the
give out a
last
lot of
page.
homework, do
Here, I'll
they?
show you.
They
It's the
really
last
give
page
out a
for
lot
the
of homework.
administrator
Well, you
sign.
don't need this.
I did read that, it's all,
So, quick
it's the
thing.
same as 917 verbatim.
'Cause I know
Yeah,
something
but what
happened
is
with
the
the
bad
charger.
part? No,
I-
there's not.
Someone stole.
Yeah, I was
In the
told.
Yeah,
morning?
in second grade.
I think
In the
I-
morning when
I
you
think
come
I
in
got
after
what
school,
you need to get
That's
started.
why I was like,
Check it out,
oh.
okay?
And then he wants
And
to
then at the
start
end of the
bringing
day-
mine up here.
You bring it back to him and you check it back to him,
Y'all look
okay?
over and
I'm
make
not.
sure, I
And that way
think
you
the
get
goals and
freaked
objectives,
out
they
when he
should all be
came.
the
What you gonna
same.
do? Tell Miss
Going
Marshall
live.
what you gonna
In
do.
the morning, just come to me.
Tell
I
Miss
have
Marshall
it
what you
for
gonna do. Tell me, what you gonna do?
Check it out.
He'll be
I'm
all right.
checking
And
in
everybody
there.
gets their homework.
Very
You know
good.
what, Miss, Marty, is what we might be able to do with another student.
But they really do rarely give out homework.
Excuse me,
though.
honey,
Okay.
someone's talking.
We're giving him points, and if he has good behavior at the end of the week, maybe he may be able to get some time at the
That's
end
a
of the
reward,
classroom.
then
Yeah,
you'll
as
get
a
more out
reward.
of him.
Maybe we can work something out when Ms. Broussard comes back with the behavior plan. Maybe we can incorporate it since he enjoys using it, but not during class
It's the
time.
motivation.
And then he'll make
It's the motivation.
Yeah.
And
But
he
if
may
we're
be able to take it
swapping
home
out,
on the
he won't
weekend.
have
That's
all
the
that.
deal.
That is
I'm
doctor's
gonna turn this into Miss,
Yeah,
I'm gonna turn
she's
it
gonna
in, and I'm gonna turn the book in.
This is,
Right.
the doctor's excuse
Yeah.
for,
Yeah,
the other day,
Yeah, she's gonna
Right.
copy it real quick
right there
before
for
we.
his therapy.
Yeah, before we go, can we get a copy?
Yeah.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so we got
She's gonna go
behavior,
home.
second is language, okay. Number 2.
Well,
Okay.
Well, we
And
have
the,
it
really
language.
the main reason why I don't have good grades is because of that I was in the community-based class, though. It really is,
Okay,
though.
honey, I'm not gonna argue with you. I
And the 2
have
weeks.
better things to do. You need to complete your assignments and you need to turn them in. And that's
We
what
think
I-
you're
But I think
capable
you
of
need
doing the
help
work. We just
in
think that
being
you sometimes
reminded
don't wanna do the work.
and that part. So,
But you're very capable, we know you're very smart.
this is
Okay.
not something new. This is not something that has ever changed. This is his disability, obviously, because I've jumped through hoops trying to get to change that. If I could, I would. Not happening. Not happening. I'll get the list and it'll be the whole entire half a year. It's shoved here, there, under the bed, thrown away before he gets home. Anything to get away and get on this. I've done homework. I don't have homework. I don't believe him. I know he has homework and things that he has to do in certain classes. What I used to do is, the teachers, all you have to do is say, I'm going to call your mother.
And maybe
He don't
Mr.
want you to
Davis-
call me
maybe
because I'm
Mr.
going to take up for the teacher
Yeah.
because she's trying to teach him and I want him to learn. I've
Right.
always been that way.
Right. I understand.
And you hear me. Have I always been that way?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, like,
So,
there's times that I have been doing good with
You
my
have
homework, but
been.
listen.
Okay.
Like, the times that I have been doing good with my homework and when I accidentally mess up on one, that would really, and you take everything away. That's what really makes me
hurts.
nuts.
I know. I'm sorry.
But
Well,
that's really not fair. One.
Well, can't that be discussed at home?
yeah, can we talk about it later?
Because we have to get Joshua.
Yeah,
It
we've
needs
got to
be
get Joshua. We're trying to get some stuff
Okay,
accomplished.
did you need her to
today.
return, now
Do
we've
you
got,
understand what the consequence is?
Yes, but not.
did you need
That's the
her
thing.
But
a
not
copy?
just not
We've
just
got
after
several
one
copies
single
of
time
this.
where
Okay,
as soon as
okay.
You
Guess
can
what?
pick
After
some of
that-
these.
If you don't want the consequence, don't do it, okay?
How, if it was an
We have-
accident, how
we
could
have
you
a- we
really?
have a copy of
But
that.
life is
Okay,
not an
I mean, does she need to
accident,
sign
really.
it, or we can?
That would be
Why?
good if she
Think
would,
I'm
if she would sign it, yeah.
saying stuff
Say she
about
was gonna be
that.
here today, is that the right one? For today's date?
It's
I mean,
just a
meeting?
consequence. I'm sorry, it has to happen. That's your mother's rule.
No,
That's your mother's
Okay.
rule. Okay.
this was
And
11/26.
that's really what makes me feel like not wanting to do anything at all.
We're gonna,
Why
we're
don't
going,
you
we're not gonna
sit down?
sign.
That's
on the
okay,
administrative page.
I don't have
Blake,
that
can you
one with
please be
me.
quiet for a minute, honey?
I
We're
don't
not
have
gonna-
that one with me, Ms.
This
Perkins
is
has
signing,
it.
and that's okay, that we attended, just like on.
Okay,
It'll be okay.
we're gonna go ahead and reschedule so we can get it
Okay.
finished up.
Just sit down.
Let's
Okay.
tentatively schedule for the
Well-
17th, which is a good,
Well, let me go home and
Yeah.
look at my book.
that's
I
right.
can tentatively, but I don't want to write it in stone.
Why don't you
17th or
send
the
her,
14th? 14th.
why don't you send her an email, because, I mean, we work at night
It's
even.
texting.
Okay,
Or text.
Better.
okay.
Texting.
I thank you, Blake. I really appreciate you being quiet, and thank you. That's all I'm
Okay.
trying to say with signing this, it's like, here, remember this
Well,
917 right here? Look, I just want to show you this first.
I'm not signing anything right now.
All right.
Okay.
Let's see. All right, so we turned in the library book. So
I'm
we
gonna go ahead and
done?
make a copy of this,
Yes,
and I'll give this to the
Finished?
librarian in the morning.
Okay.
All right, so we just
We'll
did a
reschedule.
behavior
And,
thing.
Yeah, and Christine's gonna finish that up. So,
Okay,
Uh-huh.
so we're gonna come back on this
It's
stuff.
good
Yeah,
that you
we'll
take
come
care of
back
your
and-
comments you
Okay,
need.
all right. I don't have your number,
This is school now.
I cannot believe that they don't have
And my
inclusion,
email is A good, A is an apple.
that they don't
Goodness,
have social studies and science, that they don't, I'm sorry. I just cannot get over it.
DEN at EBR school. We just emailed me if you need anything else, and I'm gonna check on the.
And tell me your first name.
Adrian?
Aiden.
I don't forget faces, I don't remember
It's
names.
Adrian. No
ADRAIN.
ma'am, ADRIAN.
ADRIAN. I'm dyslexic. Okay.
That's okay.
Adrian, good,
Yes,
good,
ma'am.
good,
Good.
good.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Adrian. All right. So there's her email. All right, so that's about it. Okay. Well, we didn't get very far.
No, we don't.
basically, if we have
Huh?
ID.
We did.
We had.
Yeah. Oh, we did.
If that's what you want to call it.
What?
If that's what you want to call it.
Why? There's a lot that y'all don't want what's wrong with ID? What?
That picture,
I know, it's that 40 years
that
old.
don't even.
I know.
Is that you?
That
me.
is not even her.
Oh, my God.
That's me. Unfortunately, that's me.
Aim.
Okay.
Aim for
So,
kids.
where
Do
did
you know
we
much about
get?
that?
What's that?
The new charter school, AIM for kids?
AIM. I really don't.
A lot of therapeutic and stuff going on. Oh, my God.
Okay.
That's
Girl.
where
My mouth.
I know.
bothering you?
We're just
Then
waiting on
I-
a copy from.
From all the stress, I grind my teeth, and I cracked the front and the back. And they thought they would be able to save it. And they had to pull it, and I cried. And then they had to do a bone graft. See, I can't think. On medication. They had to go pick up medication from the doctor.